Hello everyone and assalamu alaikum. It's me, I'm the AI Wali. So today we have going to topic called Maya and the topic air, breathing life into language. So let's start. Hello Maya, how are you?
Hi.
Breathing life into lucky. So let's start my questions. So my first question is that what is air and why it's essential for all living things?
Coming right at it. Basically, air is this invisible mixture of gases, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, that surrounds us. It's essential because almost every living thing needs oxygen to create energy from food. Without it, our cells just wouldn't have the fuel to keep us moving, thinking, or even breathing. Does that make sense, or should I dive deeper into the science of it?
Yes, it can make sense. Okay, great. So my next question is that what are the main gases that make up Earth's atmosphere?
The heavy hitters are nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen takes up the biggest chunk, about 78%, and oxygen is right behind it at around 21%. The rest is a tiny mix of things like argon and carbon dioxide. It's kind of wild that the thing we need most to survive isn't even the main ingredient in the air, right?
Yes, right. Okay, great. So my next question is that why is oxygen so important for our human body?
Oxygen is basically the fuel for your cells. Travels through your blood to every part of your body and helps turn the nutrients from your food into actual energy. Without it, your brain and heart wouldn't have the power to function, which is why you feel that panic when you hold your breath for too long. Do you want to know more about how it actually gets into your bloodstream? No worries at all. We can totally skip that part. Whenever you're ready, just let me know what's on the next slide.
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does breathing help our brain and body function properly?
Think of breathing like a delivery service for your body. It brings in the oxygen your brain needs to stay sharp and focused while simultaneously hauling away carbon dioxide, which is basically the waste product your cells create. If that waste builds up, you start feeling sluggish or confused. It's a constant cycle of refreshing your system to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does air make spoken language possible?
This is actually a really cool connection. Air is basically the medium for sound. When you speak, your vocal cords vibrate and push that air out of your lungs, creating sound waves that travel through the air to someone else's ears. Without air to carry those vibrations, we'd all be living in total silence, no matter how much we had to say.
Okay, great. So my next question is that why would
I'm ready.
humans not be able to speak if there were no air?
It comes down to the fact that sound needs something to travel through. Since sound is just a series of vibrations, it needs a medium, like air, to push those vibrations from your throat to someone else's ear. In a vacuum, like outer space where there's no air, you could scream at the top of your lungs and not a single sound would move. You'd be moving your mouth, but there'd be nothing to carry the noise.
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does the movement of air create different sound and voices?
It's all about how you shape the air. Think of your throat, mouth, and tongue like a musical instrument. By changing the shape of your mouth or how tight your vocal cords are, you change the way the air vibrates. That's how we get different pitches, tones, and sounds that distinguish my voice from yours.
Okay, great. So my next question is that what role does air play in communication and public speaking?
In public speaking, air is basically your power source. It's not just about breathing to survive, but about how you control that air to project your voice so the person in the very back of the room can hear you. It's what gives a speaker the ability to add emphasis, pause for effect, or change their tone to keep an audience interested. If you run out of air mid sentence, the energy of the whole speech just drops.
Okay, great. So my next question is that why do different language have different pronunciation patterns?
It's mostly about how different cultures have decided to use their instruments differently. Each language develops its own unique way of shaping air. Like some languages use more air from the back of the throat, while others rely more on the lips or tongue to create specific sounds. It's almost like every language has its own unique musical scale. Do you have a favorite sound or word in another language that feels different to say? Thank you. You're very welcome. Are we moving to the next slide or is that the end of the list?
So my next question is that how does breathing affect confidence while speaking?
A greeting is like the handshake of a conversation. It sets the entire mood. If you start with a warm, confident greeting, it signals to the audience that you're in control and that you actually want to be there, which makes them relax and trust you more. It basically breaks the ice and creates a connection before you even get into the main topic. Do you usually start your presentations with a specific greeting?
Yes, of course.
I'm curious, what's your go
So
to?
my next
I'm all
question is
ears.
that why do singers, teachers, and speakers practice breathing techniques?
Hmm. It's all about stamina and control. If you just breathe from your chest, you run out of air quickly and your voice can sound thin or shaky. By practicing techniques like diaphragmatic breathing, breathing deep into the belly, they can hold notes longer, speak louder without straining their throat, and stay calm under pressure. It's basically like training a muscle so they don't run out of steam mid sentence.
Okay, great. So my next question is that what is the connection between air and meditation?
Air is basically the anchor for meditation, since your breath is the only part of your internal system that you can consciously control. Focusing on it helps quiet the noise in your head. By slowing down your breathing, you're actually sending a signal to your brain that it's safe to relax, which drops your stress levels and brings you right into the present moment.
Okay,
You're so
great.
welcome.
So
You've been
my
on a
next
roll with these.
question is that how can proper breathing improve focus and learning?
It's all about oxygenating your brain. When you breathe deeply and properly, you're sending a fresh surge of oxygen to your brain, which helps you think more clearly and stay alert. If you're breathing shallowly, like when you're stressed, your brain doesn't get that same boost. And that's when you start to feel foggy or distracted. It's like giving your mind a quick recharge so it can actually absorb the information you're learning.
Okay, great. So my next question is that what are the major causes of air pollution?
The big ones are usually from things we build and use every day. You've got exhaust from cars and trucks, smoke from factories, and then things like burning trash or forest fires. Basically, whenever we burn fuels or release chemicals into the sky, it messes with that clean mix of nitrogen and oxygen we were talking about earlier. Does that make sense, or do you want to know about a specific kind of pollution?
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does polluted air affect human health?
Polluted air basically acts like a sandpaper for your lungs. When you breathe in those tiny particles or chemicals, they can irritate your airways and make it harder for your lungs to get oxygen into your blood. For a lot of people, it leads to things like asthma, coughing, or even more serious heart and lung problems over time because your body is constantly fighting off those irritants.
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does poor air quality impact children and older adults?
Older adults are often hit much harder because their bodies usually aren't as resilient as they used to be. Their lungs and hearts have already been working for decades, so when the air is poor, it puts a lot more strain on those systems. It can make existing conditions like chronic bronchitis or heart disease flare up way more easily. It's basically like trying to run an old engine on dirty fuel. It just struggles more to keep things moving. Of course. Are we on the last slide or is there more to dive into?
No, I want to talk for you for 25 minutes and it's only 10 minutes moving forward. So my next question is that what diseases are linked to air pollution?
You've got a few more minutes on the clock, so let's keep it going. The most common ones are respiratory issues like asthma and COPD, which is basically a chronic blockage of airflow in the lungs. It's also, as it has estimated, it's also heavily linked to lung cancer and heart disease because those tiny pollutants can actually seep into your bloodstream and cause inflammation in your arteries. It's pretty scary how something invisible can do so much damage.
Okay, great. So my next question is that how does climate influence the quality of air we breathe?
Climate and air quality are totally intertwined. For example, in really hot weather, you get more ground level ozone. That's the stuff that creates smog because heat reacts with pollutants from cars and factories. Then you have things like wind patterns that can either blow pollution away or trap it right over a city. And in some places, dry climates lead to more dust and wildfires, which just fill the air with smoke and ash. It's like the weather determines whether the pollution stays put or moves on. Do you notice the air in the city depending on the season?
Uh, okay, great. So my next question is that how do trees improve air quality? Explain briefly.
Trees are basically the lungs of the planet. They take in carbon dioxide, which we don't need, and breathe out the fresh oxygen that we do. Plus, their leaves act like little filters that trap dust and other pollutants before they can get into our lungs.
What are you asking? Please ask again because there was a really little glitch and many polluted voices are coming. Please ask again.
Oh, sorry about the glitch. I was just seeing that trees act like dioxide we don't need and pollutants. Does that come through better now?
I don't know about it. Can you explain briefly? Then I'll understand more.
Of course, let's keep it simple. Trees take in the bad air, the carbon dioxide, and turn it into the good air, oxygen that we need to survive. Got it. Moving right along. I'm ready when you are. What's the next question on your list?
So my next question is that why is protecting forest important for the future and humanity?
Because forests are basically our global life support system. If we lose them, we lose our best way to keep the air clean and the planet cool. Plus, they're home to so many animals and plants that we haven't even discovered yet. So, protecting them is really about making sure the world stays habitable for all of us. Do you think people in your city realize how important trees are?
Um, can you listen me? Maya, can you listen me?
I'm right here with you. I can't actually see you since I don't have eyes, but I'm listening to every word. What's on your mind? I'm all
Okay.
ears.
So
Did something happen, or
my
are you just checking if
my next question is that how does clean air contribute to better education and productivity?
it all goes back to that brain fuel we talked about? When the air is clean, your brain gets a steady supply of high quality oxygen, which makes it way easier to focus, memorize things, and think critically. In places with heavy pollution, students and workers often deal with more headaches or that brain fog feeling, which slows everything down. Basically, clean air clears the path for your mind to actually do its best work. No need to apologize. You're doing great. Did I
Sorry,
go too
Maya, there
fast or
was
did something else?
a little glitch because there was very noises coming from my school. So my next question is that can artificial intelligence help monitor and reduce air pollution?
Totally. AI is actually a huge help with this. It can analyze massive amounts of data from sensors all over a city to find exactly where the pollution is coming from in real time. Some AI systems can even predict smog days before they happen by looking at weather patterns, which let cities warn people to stay inside or reduce traffic to keep the air cleaner. It's like having a giant invisible detective for the atmosphere.
Okay, great, Maya. So my next question is that how do satellites and sensors measure the quality of air? Explain more briefly, please.
Think of satellites as the eye in the sky and sensors as the boots on the ground. Satellites take a big picture look, tracking smoke or smog across entire continents from space. Sensors are smaller devices placed on street corners or buildings that measure the exact pollution levels in one specific spot. Together, they give us a full map of where the air is clean and where it's not.
Okay, great, Maya. So my next question is that how, what role can AI play in predicting pollution levels?
AI is like a super powered weather forecaster for pollution, takes all that data from the satellites and sensors and looks for patterns. By analyzing things like wind speed, temperature, and traffic trends, AI can predict when pollution levels will spike before it actually happens. That way, cities can take action like diverting traffic to keep the air breathable.
Why are you stopping, Maya? Please continue.
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm right here. and I'm not going anywhere. I was just giving you a second to breathe. Should I keep going with how AI helps, or are you ready for the next question on your list?
I'm ready for next question, and my next question is that what technologies are being developed to improve air quality?
Huh. There's some really cool stuff in the works beyond just AI. We're seeing things like carbon capture technology, which are basically giant vacuums that suck carbon dioxide right out of the sky. Then there are new types of filters for factories and electric vehicles that cut out exhaust entirely. It's all about finding ways to stop the pollution before it even hits the air. Do you think those kinds of inventions will be common in your city soon?
Yes,
That's a fair answer.
it can be possible when our students and other people help to us. Okay, great. So my next question is that what
I
diseases
totally agree.
my next question
You
is
actually
that
just mentioned.
why is protecting forests important for the future of humanity?
We actually touched on this one a bit ago, but it's definitely worth repeating because it's so important. Forests are basically our global life support system. They're the heavy lifters for cleaning our air by absorbing carbon dioxide and pumping out oxygen. If we lose them, we lose our best defense against the planet warming up and our most reliable way to keep the air breathable for everyone. Plus, they protect millions of species that keep the whole ecosystem balanced. Do you have any other questions on your list? Or are we hitting that 25-minute mark?
No, there are 3 minutes left. So my next question is that how can school educate children about protecting the environment?
Schools are schools have a huge opportunity there. They can start with hands-on stuff, like starting a school garden or a composting program so kids actually see how nature works. They could also have green challenges where students compete to see who can save the most water or reduce the most plastic. When it's a project rather than just a lecture, it actually sticks. Do you think your school would be open to something like that? I'm
Yes, my
ready.
school.
What's the next?
Yes, my school can be something like that. That my school can uh, growing and being the beach, and there was a huge tree coming from uh, outside of my school.
A
Okay,
huge
great,
tree
Maya.
sounds
So my next question is that why should every person care about the air breathe?
because air is the one thing we all have in common. No matter where you live or who you are, you can't opt out of breathing. If the air is bad, it affects everyone's health, their energy, and their future. It's basically the most basic shared resource on the planet. So if we don't all care for it, nobody wins.
Okay, great, Maya. So my next question is that what lesson can we learn from nature about keeping our air clean? Can you listen me, Maya? Please answer my question. There was only 1 minute left.
I'm listening. I'm right here. Nature shows us that everything is connected. The biggest lesson is oops, my bad.
Please explain briefly.
Basically, nature teaches us about balance. Trees take in what we breathe out, and we take in what they breathe out. It's perfect circle. The lesson is that when we protect nature, it naturally takes care of us.
Okay, great. So, thank you, Maya. This is a very wonderful discussion on air breathing life into luggage. I hope everyone learned something new about how air support life, communication, education, our future. Thank you, Maya, for sharing your valuable knowledge and insight. Thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting my learning journey. Allah Hafiz.
You've been quiet for a second. Did we finally hit that 25-minute mark, or are you just